This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, we're going to get started. This is the presentation for the open house for Government Way and Miles signal that we currently have under design. So I'm thinking you guys can probably see my cursor. I gave an image that shows clear from 95 over here, and this is where the intersection is. This is Government Way, and this is Miles. Here we go. So I'll be doing the presentation. I'm Melissa Cleveland. I'm the community development director. Then we also have Rhiannon, and she is our consultant from JUB Engineers. She's doing the design of the project. So we have other city staff. I'm going to introduce them. They're not here right now, but we've got Alan Soderling, who's our public works director. Rob Wright, who's our city engineer, and Brett Boyer, who's our city administrator. So this meeting is we're trying to kind of figure out what to do during a pandemic. So we're going to do this presentation. It is live. If anyone were to join, they could certainly ask questions. We're also recording this, and we'll put it on our Facebook page and our website for people who maybe wanted to attend but just couldn't get here at this time. So we wanted to kind of back up and talk about some options that we've considered throughout the design. So we did start with two options, one being a roundabout and one being a signal. And so we went through a concept phase where we evaluated the two uses. So this was the roundabout. And then we have the signal, which you'll see more of later on. So the roundabout had some pros and cons. JUB had put together a report that kind of evaluated the different pros and cons of both options. So the pros of the roundabout were a potential for fewer crashes and the potential for reduced severity of crashes. So that's one of the big pros of a roundabout. And also less maintenance and lower energy costs because you might have lighting, but you don't have that ongoing cost of operating a traffic signal. And there's less noise and emissions from having people stop and start all the time like they would have to at a signal. So there's less of that going on. The cons are quite a bit more right-of-way acquisition, especially on this intersection, and impacts to businesses, a few of which, the properties that would be impacted, they have existing businesses, so the impacts are pretty substantial. Also, the northbound queue. So that northbound means people traveling in a northward direction. So from the south towards the north was getting super lengthy, so lengthy that it could start to impact the next intersection south of there. So we thought that seemed really excessive. It was more expensive to construct when they went through two different cost estimates, a lot more utility conflicts, and we were finding that as we look 20 years into the future, it was really difficult for the roundabout to perform well with the traffic we're expecting. So it just wouldn't have the same ability to be expanded and adapt to the higher traffic volume. So the signal pros and cons were shorter northbound queues. As we got out like 20 years into the future, we were finding that it would perform a little bit better for queue length. It could be designed to communicate with the US 95 signal, which could help, especially in the future as we get more traffic. We can adjust that signal timing over time. So if we get more traffic on Government Way, we can give more of the green time to Government Way, and we have more flexibility in kind of fiddling with that signal timing over time. It has less right-of-way acquisition. It gave better operations on miles. So the people that are needing to cross the intersection, they're on miles, they need to cross the intersection. At a roundabout, when they did the modeling, we were finding that it was pretty difficult them to find a gap in traffic to enter the roundabout. So the signal will stop that traffic on Government Way and let Miles traffic go. It was less expensive to construct based on the construction cost estimate, and it had less impact on utilities and existing businesses. The cons of this signal were it did have an increase in the southbound queue, so that's the people that are starting out north of the intersection on Government Way and heading south. But we're planning for a southbound right turn lane in the future. It doesn't need to get built now, but we're planning for that in the future, which kind of takes care of that issue. There are more instances of braking and accelerating, which increases those emissions and noise, over a roundabout. There are more conflict points at a signalized intersection, so there is more potential for crashes. And then, of course, we have the ongoing power and maintenance cost of running a signal. So the signal was, in February, selected by the City Council as the preferred alternative. So that's how we've been moving forward. And this was because they evaluated both options. We had a meeting on that at a council meeting. And they liked that it had a lower cost to construct. They liked that it outperformed the roundabout when we get into the future. And there was less right-of-way need, and the biggie for them was lower impact to the existing businesses and more flexibility to modify it in the future to get it to still operate well. So that's how we're moving forward, is with the signal. Here's the layout. So we do need some right-of-way from 3 of the 4 corners. I think we're going to get by with maybe just some construction easements on the 4th. And so what we're planning on doing is on Miles. I'm hoping you all can see my cursor here. On Miles west of Government Way, we're planning to widen that to have a left turn lane and also to have on-street bike lanes and then swale and sidewalk. So we're kind of narrowing up here to kind of get around this gas station here. On east of Government Way, we are adding a turn lane, but the volumes are expected to be much lower east of Government Way on Miles, so we're not going to have separate on-street bike lanes. It'll be more of a share the road situation. Then south of Miles on Government Way, that's pretty much all built already. It's kind of a built environment. We're not going to change much down there. We're just going to do what we need to kind of make the intersection function. So we're not going to add bike lanes going south because that would be so impactful. But going north, things are a lot less built out. The curbs aren't already in and things. So we will be adding on-street bike lanes north of Miles on Government Way. So still a 3-lane section north of Government Way where you have 1 lane in each direction and a left turn lane. So just so people can kind of tell, I put a few photos in here. So this is the northeast corner of the intersection. You can see we have quite a bit going on utility-wise here. A lot of this is built, but I think we end up rebuilding this corner just to get it to function right with the signal. This is the northwest corner. This parcel is vacant right now. So this is where the signal equipment is going on this corner. So the controller and cabinet will be on this corner. This is where in the future we're going to put a right turn lane in. The traffic modeling shows that we'll need that at some point, but we don't need it today. So we're just going to place all the signal equipment back far enough to accommodate that, but we're not going to build that extra turn lane today. This is the southwest corner, so that's where the gas station is, and that's where we kind of narrow up the bring the sidewalk in next to the road for a distance to get around those gas pumps. And then this is the southeast corner. We really don't impact them much at all. We're just kind of coming right along where that existing curb and edge of pavement are. So with that, that's basically all that we had prepared. We're here, Rhiannon and I are here for questions, comments, and let me see. It looks like we might have somebody on. So if somebody has any questions or comments, go ahead and talk.
Oh, well, this is Gary Ventures. My family trust owns the strip mall where the seniors are. And I just want to say that I talked to the family trust, and they're all behind you for the traffic signal instead of the roundabout.
Okay, perfect. So are you, which property are you involved with?
Okay, it's the Ventures Trust property where the senior center's at.
Okay, I think that the senior center is quite a bit further.
It's further down, but just we're looking at, people that go to the center and travel and stuff. And
Oh, I see. I just being able to navigate the roundabout was, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
So what was your name again, just so I can write it down?
Gary, Gary, Ventris, that's V as in Victor, Entress.
Okay, and so you prefer the signal. Okay.
Okay. Oh, did I lose you? I lost you.
No, I was just writing down some notes.
Okay.
So any other comments or?
No, that's it. I think you gave a wonderful presentation.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, and you ladies have a good evening.
You too. Bye, you too.
Okay, bye now.
I don't have any questions.
I did, yeah, okay, thank you.
Didn't know if you saw that this is Jay.
It is, yeah, we can see that.
Okay.
Perfect, thank you. Thanks. So I guess we'll probably just stop recording. So what I'll do is I'll stop recording it, but if, we'll keep it up. If somebody else jumps on for 6, we'll just start the recording again.